Hi, I'm creating a short video to explain how to create tables in KoboToolbox using XLSForms, right? Sometimes you might want to create tables like the one that you can see on your screen right now, instead of the standard kind of one line per question that we usually have. You might need to do this if you want to enter data from a PDF onto a KoboToolbox Enketo interface, and you want something that enumerators might actually be familiar with when they are doing data entry, right? So if you completely change the style of the interface, it becomes very difficult for them to enter data. And it becomes even more time consuming. There might be more errors and so forth, right? So let's say, this is a really simple example. Let's say that you wanna know how many male students and female students there are in grade 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And you wanna create a table like this. How do you go about doing it? So let's actually go to an XLS form and yeah, do it from scratch. So I'm going to share a blank form right now. Let's start with the begin group, right? Simple table, example table, right? And it's, how many columns do we have? We have one column for the grade, one column for the male students, and one column for the female students, right? So that's 3 columns. So we want something with a width of 3. What happens after that is that each line represents one column within each row, right? So I guess the easy way to do that would be to have notes for each of these: grade, male students, and female students. Okay, so let me do that. Note, note, and note. Copy, paste. And what are my headers? Grade, male students, and female students, right? So grade, male students, female students. I'm going to just end the group right here just to show you what this looks like. Okay, obviously I want each of these to represent one column. So I'm going to put in W1, W1, and W1, which means that each of these should take up the width of 1. Okay, so let's actually get back to the form and see what it looks like when I upload this updated version. So you see, you basically have a grade, then you have the male students, and then you have female students, right? So you effectively created headers for your table. You can imagine that each note would have usually taken the entire line, the entire row. But now, given that you've given it a width of 1 in a table that has a width of 3, it's just taken up 1 column's worth, right? So you have grade, you have male students, and you have female students. Now, let's get back to our ODK form. And continue working on it, right? So now what do we need to do? I'm going to kind of give ourselves 3 more rows. The next thing we need to do is put in this thing, right? And this is also not a question. This is just a header, right? Grade 1. So I'm going to put in another note here, and that says grade 1. That also takes a width of 1. The next one is an integer question, and that is boys in grade 1, right? Male students in grade 1. So let me say males in grade 1. Okay, that takes a width of 1. And similarly, females, grade 1. Okay, and a width of grade 1. Now, I can't leave these question labels as empty because Kobo thinks that there is an error here. So instead of doing that, I am just going to type in this bit of code that says that I don't want there to be any display to this question. Okay, so span style display none, right? And that's it. So each of these, this is the first row, and then 1 + 1 + 1 second row, right? I'm going to stop sharing and go back to the Chrome example. Once it refreshes, there we go. So we've got our headers, then we've got grade 1 and male students, let's say 42, female students 30, right? And then you just need to keep going line by line. So you then, it becomes a very simple iterative process, right? So back to the form, you just say, all right, so you've got 4 grades, right? So you've got these 3 lines that you need to copy and paste. And then you need to copy these 2 and paste. Right, so this is grade 1. This time is grade 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, it really doesn't matter what a note is called, so I'm just going to leave that. But I am going to change the name of the variable. So now I have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. And all of these are taking up 1 row. So the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. And then I've entered the group. So if I go back and just replace this form with a new version, there we go. So that's how you create a table. And obviously you can put in all constraints that you want and hints and stuff as well. Constraints might be easier, and then with a constraint message, because a hint might actually make this a little too clunky, right? So we've gone ahead and started from scratch, and we've created a nice table for data entry. All right.